it that sometimes I like it when I lose control? There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is dying, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. Is it that sometimes I like it when I lose control? There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. closest starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. I forgive the pain you gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. My love, I'm gone. I need to be strong. The darkness had tried to swallow me. Some days I fall, but I hear your call. I pray I don't hit the ground. Gravity. Gravity.
Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me, hold on to me.
Hello and welcome everybody to World League Esports. World League Esports is your new home for esports. My name is Olympus, and tonight I will be joined by my co-caster Justin. How are you doing?
Hey man, I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm doing fantastic, as you might imagine, because we get to see more Siege action and we get to continue with the last weekend of the WLE 10K. We started things off yesterday with ATK versus Bravado, which was a nail biter of a match. And then today we had one game earlier that was Ranchak versus Omnius Gaming, who we will be seeing today going against ATK. So it's going to be another banger, I'm sure. And what are your predictions going into this, Justin?
So for this matchup, obviously, it's a very difficult one. It is round two, as I call it, between OG versus ATK in this tournament. They did play against each other in the semi-finals of the upper bracket, where ATK came up on top in that matchup, winning it 2-1 after OG had a really good start, but then ATK just pulled up their socks and came back in the end. And then they fought all the way to the upper bracket finals against Bravado, and unfortunately they lost there. But now having a second chance against OG, same with OG having a second chance to play against ATK again and prove themselves and maybe get a spot in tomorrow's grand finals. We'll have to see what the outcome of today's game is. But for me personally, I think I'm going to root with ATK for this match, Olympus.
I think I'm going to be on your side as well, because I was watching today's match earlier, Omnius going against Ranchak. It was an interesting one. And Omnius is a strong team as they have made it this far, but I think that ATK just have the upper edge. They have the advantage. And like you said, they went toe-to-toe against each other and ATK came out 2-1, which I believe is the only best of three we've had where we went to all three maps. So that's what I'm hoping we'll get to see a repeat of tonight, as it is yet another best of three, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting things off on Cafe right away as the teams are ready. But before we get into it, Justin, take us through the map vetoes.
So the first map that was banned was from OG, was Villa. They banned that out. Consulate also being banned out from ATK, not wanting to play that at all today. Then OG picked Clubhouse as their very first matchup, and then ATK picking Cafe. So two very strong maps for the two teams. And then we see Oregon being banned out by OG there. They did play really well on it, so did ATK, but taking it completely out of the map pool for today. And Coastline as well. We have not seen much of Coastline being played at all in this tournament, and ATK choosing to get rid of that. And the decider map is Theme Park for this best of three. So three very interesting maps: Clubhouse, Cafe, and Theme Park. Three very diverse maps for this play day. We'll have to see who performs best where, but I believe it's going to go to the third map, Theme Park, because both maps are really strong for the, well, preferred teams.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not surprised at that ban phase either, because ATK, like I said yesterday's stream, they're good on so many maps. It just gets difficult to play against them. Right now, though, we have the squads up on your screen. We have the rosters of ATK and Omnius Gaming. Dr. Dropshot has been performing spectacularly today earlier when they were playing Ranchak. And he is, in fact, the best of his team, as we see here in the head-to-head against Kosa, still on that 3.2 KD. Don't believe the stats have been updated to reflect yesterday's match. But nonetheless, two very, very well-skilled players. And I'm kind of shocked that Dropshot's main defender is Cav.
Same. To be fair, he has played quite a bit of Cav in the earlier matchups, group stages, and then the early playoff games. He did pull out a Cav now and then. I don't believe it was his most played, but he did play it quite often, and just he knows how to use Cav. He just really takes advantage of that to really just put pressure on the attackers on that roam, with the Cav being very sneaky, getting a pick or two, and just being a thorn in the attacks just thumb, and just making himself a menace to deal with.
Absolutely. We'll see whether he's going to continue to be a menace today as they had played earlier. And like I said, I'm on the side of ATK, but Omnius had what I would call a warm-up earlier today. Of course, ATK has been practicing, but Omnius have also got the teeth into the game earlier today when they went against Ranchak. So whichever way this one goes, I'm sure it's going to be very, very close. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting things off here in Russia. Cafe Dostoevsky, OG is on attack. Let's get right into it.
Cafe, very interesting match for both teams, actually. ATK perform really well on Cafe when they do play it. Same with OG. We have not seen too much of OG on Cafe. The last time they did play it, I believe it was in group stages and maybe one of their lower bracket games, but they did not perform the best on it. So hopefully this is going to be a better game for them. Maybe they've just sat down, done their research, just try and work out some things that went wrong last time and prepared for ATK. It does look like they have prepared for ATK, as the first ban is Nomad. So Nomad, a very interesting ban coming out on, well, Cafe. It's not really interesting. It's just going to support those runouts and aggressive behavior that OG are very common of, and it works fine for them. Also, Nomad being one of Cause's main operators, maybe they banned it for that as well. But the Thatcher being the second attacking ban, getting taken off of the board, also really just going to support that defense and really just allow them to keep those walls intact for as long as possible.
Absolutely, that's a target ban, you can be sure of that. And Wamai is also gone off the board, which means that Jaeger is going to continue enjoying an even higher pick rate, as he is one of the most, if not the most picked defender we have right now in Siege, sitting pretty at something like a 95% pick rate, which I'm sure is a pain for the balancing team of this game. But they have tried with his recent rework where the ADS doesn't have 3 charges. Instead, it has an infinite number of charges as long as it's allowed to recharge. I think it's 10 seconds in between consuming projectiles. So it has changed the way things are played. It makes the players have something else to reconsider when they are trying to ban someone out of the power spot, such as Pixel, which I hope we'll be seeing, as Omnius Gaming have started things off on Bar Cocktail.
That Cav being picked there by Kaiko, I do believe it is a bait. Yes, we will see a 6 pick coming out from there. But there is a 6 pick from James, from the IQ onto the Maverick. So Maverick really going to support that attack, just trying to get control of those cigar walls. And just those nades as well, going to really support to get rid of the Pixel. But that Cav being 6 pick onto the Clash, now the Clash is going to be really a big problem for ATK's attack now. If they try and take in Cigar side and Piano, that Clash is really going to put a lot of pressure on them.
Oh, she is for sure, but the thing is, Figure has Zofia, who is one of the better operators at dealing with a Clash. The other being a Nomad, but since Nomad has been banned, we'll be seeing none of that coming out from Kosa. Instead, he will be playing Gridlock, so still a support operator and still an operator who I would say allows him to fulfill his IGL roles, as they are the kind of operators who kind of sit back and let the Ashes and the Zofias rush into sight. And that's exactly what AML will be doing, as he is well known to be an Ash main.
Indeed, I was about to call out why those red walls were not getting reinforced, but Dropshot will get onto that and reinforce it as soon as possible. With the full ATK lineup coming here from River Dock Spawn, trying to put pressure from there, they will start repelling to the roof. It does look like they are going to try and take control of Piano. They're just waiting patiently at the moment, looking out for those spawn picks, as we do see Sandals in position to put pressure from below if he chooses to do that. He is playing on that Jaeger, roaming down all the way on brown stairs. But if we speak about this defense from OG, they do have a lot of deny operators to really put pressure on those attackers. They have the Aruni, they have the Clash, the Echo and the Maestro. The Echo and the Maestro are really going to be able to give a lot of intel and as well deny the plant as it should be. So we'll have to see how ATK can work around that, because those two operators, if they're not dealt with from the very beginning, it's going to put a lot of pressure on ATK's attacks later in the round.
Speaking of pressure, this Clash is putting pressure on the attack coming out from ATK, as he's situated in that cigar area. He is getting droned out in this Piano area of the map, so he has decided to fall back a little bit to the pixel angle that I was talking about earlier. AML is the one who is tasked with taking control of Ticket and then Stage and eventually the entire Piano side of the map. He has lost all his utility, which had been used earlier on to clear out, I believe, barbed wires and such. So he still has his gun and he has his flashbang, he has his breaching charges actually. So he is going to have a tough time trying to deal with this Clash. You can see Figure here trying to assist him. He is wary of a run out. Sandals is the first one who starts things off. They're getting James The Maverick is gone off the board, and then immediately Dr. Dropshot is down from this white hallway window by Costa.
I don't know if he knows the location of Dropshot, if he is down, but there he does pick him off eventually. But now Corza also low on HP at the moment, and same with the Clash, as the Clash gets downed and AML gets a pick, but Corza also gets picked off there by Sandals. So Sandals currently on a double kill, and AML answering back, taking off Ergo and Sandals. That's a triple for him in the round. Now it's all up to Cannibal in a 1 versus 3. He does get 2, but the third one peaks, and there's a trade actually between AML and Cannibal there in that freezer area, and ATK coming up on top in that round. Really well executed attack from them, not worrying at all about that delay coming out from OG, just coming in the end and using their guns and just fragging out to win them their very first round in this matchup.
AML, he is the Ashman. He is the man that I had been talking about just as the round was getting started, and he showed us exactly how it's done. You walk in, you click heads, and easy as that, you pick up 4 kills and you start things off on such a good pace there for his team, putting themselves at 1-0 advantage. I was saying how he doesn't have his flashbangs, he doesn't have his breaching charges, rather his breaching rounds either. So he would have had a tough time dealing with the Clash. Nonetheless, the coordination from ATK with help from Kosa on that white hallway window, and the tracks as well were eventually the downfall for the Clash. Secured themselves what was such an impactful kill, and then from there it was a steamroll as AML walked into sight and got the last one. So it was a trade, it was a good attempt from Omnis Gaming to hold on to Bar. HK are the ones who walk away superior. So OG will be attempting, rather I should say re-attempting to hold Bar yet again, and without much change in the operator lineup. So I believe they will be changing how they put these operators to use.
As well as just they swap up some of the operators. Cannibal will no longer be on that Echo, he is now on the Clash, and Kaiko has decided to swap onto that smoke role instead of the Clash from the previous round. So a bit of change coming out from them. Maybe this is the change that they need. I don't believe that Echo put much pressure on those attackers at all the previous round, because they didn't have to rely on getting that diffuser down. They just relied on their gun skill in the end. But now we do see the attack coming back out again from ATK, trying to take control of that top floor once again. They're going to try and put pressure, but we do see a player sneaking here in garage. It is Sandals just waiting for somebody to go and rappel onto those windows, the south windows, to try and put pressure on them, but that will not be the case as nobody has decided to go there. He will decide to rotate up, and now just the drones coming through from the attack, really just trying to make and find those locations of the defenders. It does look very stagnant at the moment, but we have to see what their plan is eventually.
This is about as ATK as it gets on Cafe. They always start with taking control of the red stairs, and then they move on over into piano, which worked out for them last round. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dr. Dropshot is the one here prone on this white corridor window. He has pings on the other side of this barricade, just getting ready to shoot the head off of this Ash, who is trying to find him as well. But right now, though, Kosa is the one who finds the opening kill onto Sandals. That's the Jaeger who is gone. Dr. Dropshot still wants to contest this window. It's a back and forth, and he's the one who's superior there as Kosa finally falls. Cannibal, though, is here in piano, and he has 3 attackers from ATK, 1 on stage and 2 at ticket, trying to flush him out, and he's going to continue to waste as much time as humanly possible. Though his health is also wasted, then he himself falls to the ground as it's a 4v3 action coming out so early on. Right now, it's OG in the lead.
3 versus 2 situation now as the Clash is down, and Amo trying to now contest. Now White says he does get a pick, but there's another one contesting him in bathroom, and he loses that gunfight as Kaiko comes out on top, and now it's a 2v1 situation. It's all up to Pancake. He does finish off that Clash, and now bringing him closer into the round. He is have to contest 2 of these players. 40 seconds left on the clock. He does not know the locations of them. He's just trying to face peek at the moment to try and find those locations. He still does have time to work with them, but so do the defenders. 3 smoke canisters still left on the arsenal of smoke. Just going to be able to waste as much time as possible, but Pancake surely making a lot of noise here. Will the players of OG be able to spot him out? And there we go, Kaiko peeking the angle into freezer. or to White Stairs, sorry, and picking off Pancake, getting the final kill for his team and bringing OG to an even scoreline now in a 1-1-all scoreline on Cafe, their very first match.
As we're now nicely equalized here on Cafe, things are going to get heated as the pressure mounts, as the hype continues to build towards the grand finals tomorrow. The question is, who is going to be facing Bravado? Is it going to be ATK trying to come back from their loss yesterday, or is it going to be OG who will show us some new entrance into the top two of South African Siege? We're yet to find out, as right now it's really anyone's game, and OG will decide to take us to kitchen to see what they are made of, as they have a Goyo, they have a Vigil as well. I am expecting a bit of a roam, as there's a castle on the board from Kaiko.
Going to be a really interesting roam strat coming out here from OG. It looks like they will also try to hold this White Stairs area. They do have that Goyo to support them and really just put pressure, not allowing the attackers to really push into sight at all, because those Goyo shields are going to be really helpful, going to be able to slow them down, just bringing that delay that OG is trying to play at the moment. They're also extending into Bakery, so a very interesting hold coming out from OG nonetheless. They also barricading off the bar area, so at the moment it looks like they're trying to spread wide onto the bottom floor, trying to put pressure from all angles, from wide side, from the bar area, as well as Bakery. So we'll have to see if that's going to work for them. Hopefully the roam presence as well here from the Vigil and the Jaeger will be able to put pressure and waste time for those attackers and not allow them to get into those areas quickly, as OG now at the moment in favor as the attackers are coming back into the map.
Well said, Justin. OG are trying to extend the bomb site towards the Bakery and that VIP side of the map, which, like I like to say, if you're not careful and you have too heavy a roam presence, the attackers might as well bomb rush into sight and take that control away from you. Though that's not quite the case here, because we can see the presence here in the small Bakery being challenged as Goyo shields go off, and then Kaiko finds a kill onto James, which is immediately answered back by Amel, finds one onto Kaiko himself, the one who had got the opening kill. And they want to put up this momentum, they want to keep it up as they are trying to make the best of it and make sure that they don't lose the advantage that they have right now.
Reinforcement coming out there from the defenders. I'm not sure who did it, but they reinforced that Bakery wall back up. They got a pick, they fell back. They lost one in return to try and fall back into sight, but that wall will get opened up once again from ATK. And now having those lines of sight into these players, this Jaeger going to play aggressively in prep. He does find one, he does decide to rotate off, but now it's a 4v3 situation as Dropshot is also peeking. He gets one on the double door, Bakery double door. That is Causa off of the board, the Gridlock off. It's all up to the Ash and the Ace, as the Ace comes up on top there, but he gets refragged from Sandals. Now all up to AMO on this Ash in a 1 versus 3 situation. He only has 26 HP, so it's going to be difficult for him to play against these full HP players of OG, and OG coming up on top in this round as Sandals gets the final pick there, just peeking those angles that AML was unaware of, and really just bringing OG to the advantage in this matchup now.
You know, Justin, I've been trying to figure out whether South Africa has a unique and distinctive meta. And if this weekend has been anything to go by, I think the word that describes it is aggression. Last night, ATK versus Bravado, especially on that second map, Clubhouse, the rounds were ending so early. So much action was coming out within the first 45, 30 seconds of the game. And looks like the trend is going to continue here, as that round ended when there was still a minute and then some left on the clock. And, you know, to me, it's kind of the irony of a game named Siege, because historically speaking, a siege is something that takes weeks, it takes months, when the besieging army surrounds a city and then slowly chokes it. But right now, South Africa, if they have anything to say about it, is that a siege is won within the first 30 seconds.
I can agree completely with you on that point, because just from the South African meta that I've seen is aggression. Most teams really just strive on the aggression. If you can't play against aggression or play with aggression, then you really do start to suffer against some of those teams. OG is a really good example of that aggressiveness. They really just use that to their advantage, and they play it perfectly well. Nobody can hate on them for playing aggressively, because they have adapted that playstyle and they've really done well in adapting it. Because at the moment, it really does look like that aggression is getting the better of ATK actually, as they are suffering to play against it at the moment. It looks like they're just struggling to really prepare or watch out for those angles, as it's just so unpredictable as what's going to happen next. But these attackers now do have to try and attack onto that reading room and fireplace area to get themselves back to an even scoreline. We have to see how ATK choose to attack it. It does look like they will be doing more default and taking top floor control, as all the players are positioned to do so.
Right, indeed. As ATK does, they will be taking control of this side of the map and then move on over into the bar and cocktail, which I believe there is the presence of OG. They have set up this room. Like you said, they're defending reading, and the way you do that is from above. And the thing about the aggression that's coming out in this weekend, it's not like it's just brain dead aggression. It's not an all aim, no brain ash kind of aggression. It's not the kind where in rank you walk into a room and there's someone lying down in the middle of a hallway and then he guns you down. That kind of aggression. It's very well thought out and well coordinated with lots of trades. And I'm wondering whether ATK, which is a more reserved team that plays more strategically, is going to suffer. That's not to say that they don't have the gun skill. They have people like Pancake, they have AML, they have loads of clutch potential. But aggression versus strategy is what we'll be finding out here, as a minute and 16 are left. Dr. Dropshot still at the top of red stairs. AML still here trying to challenge him. He gets stunned by one of those Ella grenades, and then he pauses for a little bit inside this bathroom.
Very stagnant push coming out here from ATK as they're trying to take control of this wide stairs, and AML being contested by wide stairs, and he does get the pick, but there we see the Rooney just drop down the hatch and James loses a lot of HP, but the advantage is in favor of ATK. Time is still not in their favor though, as Ergo now tries to drop all the way down to wide stairs to try and maybe make a rotate or put pressure as they do try to push up later, and Koza adds onto that scoreboard as he picks off Sandals. That's the Jaeger off of the board. That G8 just working perfectly well for him, but 30 seconds left. They have to start making a push. These three players left on OG really just have to waste time now, as Ergo does waste time as he picks off James, finally finishing him off, now bring it back to a 3 versus 4 situation. 15 seconds left on the clock. These angles just being held here by OG, waiting for this push to come out here from ATK. Where will it be? It does look that they're going for a reading. They do have control of reading. Do these OG players know of this? The plant is being attempted as Ergo does get one. That's Koza off of the board. AML loses a lot of HP as well, but there he's down by another one, and Kaiko Figure actually answering back, getting one. It's all up to Kaiko, or actually it's a 2 versus 2 situation. 30 seconds left on the plant defuse as Figure comes out on top of there, and he gets the second with the pistol, just bringing out that pistol and getting the 2 final players of OG and winning out that round for his team, bringing it to an even score of 2-2. This is a really, really close game. Both these teams are hungry to get into that grand finals tomorrow, but we have to see who will come out on top, who will be hungrier than the other one, and who will win this matchup.
This matchup right now is just going to be about, like you said, the team that shows up, the one that's more hungry for that W, as we equalize yet again. That last round was a little bit messy towards the end there, because ATK spent so much time trying to challenge the presence from OG on the top floor and on the white stairs, which they were eventually able to beat back off into sight. And at the end, Figure was the one there with the back, eventually having to pull out his pistol to get the last 2 kills. Like they say, remember, switching to your pistol is always quicker than reloading, and there it saved his life and it got ATK back into things as round number 5. And predictions, I don't know if they mean anything, because right now it's really anyone's game.
Indeed it is, but for the defense side, they are advantaged. OG obviously winning cocktail bar once and then losing it once. So at the moment, we have to see if this hold from them is going to be a lot better. It does look like a completely different strat coming out from them. They are bringing a castle and an Ella this time instead of that clash. And can't remember exactly who was the operator from the previous round. I believe it was a Rooney that was also played from them. So two different operators being put in. It does look like they are going to try and hold control of that cigar shop. They do have the castle barricade there on the cigar double door to try and support that, but this jackal coming out from ATK really going to support them now. It's not much to support on the roam clear, but more to just get that information on where those defenders are sitting when they do try and make that execute now, as they do get into this round.
That's not to forget that Jackal also being the super shorty, and he brings the smoke grenades, as ATK have 4, and 4 is also the number of players left on the side of OG, as such an early opening pick from AML cements his teammates in such an early advantage, as has been the name of the game this weekend. Early aggression, not even 50 seconds have gone by and it's already a 4v5. OG right now on the defense are doing well, as they're holding steady. They have lots of plant denial in the smoke and the maestro as well. And they're not really going very experimental with their strategies. ATK yesterday showed us on their defense how deep and in-depth their strat book is. We know them for being well on attack, but they also showed us yesterday that they're very good on their defenses. They were coming out of their half 3-3 equalized, so it was a tight game to say the very, very least. And it's a tight game here as half the round has gone. Ergo is the one in the washrooms being supported by this reinforcement, the ADS and the shield. As the pressure from ATK starts to mount here in Piano, they are slowly closing in on the defenders.
These defenders really going to put pressure, but speaking of pressure, that's pressure from Corza on that Jackal, just getting rid of Ergo. His Maestro camps will no longer be able to deny that plant. They will still give intel, but Figure will probably be able to take that out with the Sophia charges. Same with AML, as Sandals does get one. That's Maverick off of the board. James getting taken out there, and Dropshot now getting cover fired back, but he does choose to rotate off as he loses a lot of HP there from that pixel area. But now they will just choose to hold this white stairs. 40 seconds left. There's Dropshots dropped to at least 5 HP, and now the attackers really trying to put pressure here to take control of that default plant spot to try and get themselves into this round. At the moment, time just being wasted. 30 seconds left as Kaiko gets taken off of the board. That's Causa to get that pick and drop shot with that shotgun of Ella just getting a pick for himself. That's AML off now, a 2 versus 3 situation, but Sandals gets picked off by Figure. That's 1 for him, and the plant is being attempted here by Pancake. It's all up to drop shot in a 1 versus 3 situation. He has 1 HP, 5 HP on the board with that pistol shotgun combo. He's not going to be able to do much. Maybe he'll be able to spot out two of these players, as Pancake also gets dropped onto 1 HP. Now 30 seconds left on the clock. He's getting contested by that white stairs, just peeking all of these angles, not really knowing where to go first. Now going to decide to peek into this area, but there's one playing on the bomb chassis. That is Causa, just sitting there waiting patiently, waiting for that push into Freezer, and there it is, just getting that final pick, getting the final pick for his team and bringing them to the advantage. Now once again, it's just back and forth between these two teams. Currently score is now 3-2, so really good attack there from ATK, but from OG, very unfortunate opening death there. I believe it was Cannibal trying to get a late reinforcement there, so just the time management on that not really going in his favor, as AML did capitalize on that, and that put a lot of pressure on OG throughout that round.
Pressure is the name of the game, as that last round was an interesting one, to say the very least. The entirety of ATK's attack came from the western side of the map, which is where Piano and Cigar is located, and the remaining defenders of OG were all situated on that eastern side of the map, but circled them like sharks. ATK did, as they were able to just pick them off one by one without much trade potential from the defenders. Give ATK, I should say, that round. Going into round number 6, this is the last round of the first half of the first map in this best of 3, which, if you're going to continue quoting numbers, is the second game of the day. And the second to last game of the WLE 10K. Last time we saw OG defending this, they did so successfully, and it was mostly, I would say, due to their aggression and their well-placed shots. We'll see what answer ATK have prepared for them, as they know what the setup is going to look like. They know what operators OG are bringing.
The attackers now having that advantage, obviously, with knowledge-wise, but still the defenders getting that advantage there as Kaiko gets an early pick onto Pancake. That's the hard reach off. They do still have the Maverick, but Pancake being taken off there with the ace. The Maverick not going to really be able to open those walls unless they get control of Bakery, but it doesn't look like ATK will try and go for that control, as they are going to do a top-down take for them, trying to get control of those areas first, but they will be contested by Dropshot and Sandals as they're peeking the hatches aggressively there, just waiting for those attackers to peek into their lines of sight and take advantage of that.
I'm not too sure if Kaiko got that opening kill through the barricade off of spawn, but it was a well-placed shot to say the least, and drop shot drops another, and then Sandals adds into the fray. Figure and AML are eliminated for the round, leaving just Kosa and James here on the top of red stairs to bring this back in a 2v5 situation. Just 2 minutes to go. That means only 1 minute has elapsed. And like I said, aggression is what OG brought when they were defending Kitchen on round number 3. It's what they'll be repeating on round number 6. They have such the advantage, and Sandals continues it here as Kosa is on such low HP. James is at the top of white stairs, pre-firing angles, trying to find anything. Sandals finds Kosa, he is down, so now it's all up to James and his 20 or so HP. Decides to drop into pillars as there are too many angles for him to contest. The on red stairs though is Sandals, the Jaeger, and James hasn't even fully reloaded yet as he positions himself in mine.
Now left in a 1 versus 4 situation. He's being contested here by Sandals on the Jaeger, and the pistol coming out from Sandals, just getting that shot onto James. A beautiful shot from him to say that, and now just finishing out the round, and with an even scoreline on the first half of the very first match. At the moment, it's looking like anybody's game. OG obviously bringing back there from that 3-2 deficit to a 3-3 now, but they are going onto their attacks. So winning 3 rounds on their defense, really well played, but still the more, I would say, norm is a 4-2 split for the defense, so that they are a bit more comfortable on their attacks, because Cafe is a defender-sided map, but now ATK having the advantage going to the defense, but I believe OG's attacks will still be able to support them in this match, as they do have a similar lineup to what ATK had.
3-3 is the scoreline. We have equalized for the 3rd time in just Cafe alone. So to call this close would be to do the word an injustice, as nothing can describe the action that we're seeing in front of you. Maybe Justin and I can attempt to describe what is a nail-biter of a match, and you can see here being highlighted by our observer the setup from ATK as they start things off on the defense round on Kitchen. The site that they were able to successfully attack is the one they will start their defenses on. They have Mute and they have Castle Mozzie. What does that look like to you, Justin? Is that an SSG Clubhouse room trap?
A bit, yes, but it does look like they're trying to play that drone denial, that Mute and that Castle, and that combined with that Mozzie, it really going to put a lot of pressure on those attackers. Their drone game is going to be very sloppy, that just all out, and as well with those castle barricades. If you guys don't know, if you add a Mute jammer with a castle barricade, it will stop it from being taken out by a breaching charge if you go straight up to the doorway. But obviously those attackers do have throwable utility and shooting utility from those grenade launchers on the Ash and that Sophia, so those castle barricades not going to really will be a menace with those 2 operators. But now we do see OG taking full on Bakery. There is 5 people situated here in Bakery. They do have Bakery control, as now 3 players will decide to try and rotate off and take control of that top floor, as ATK is holding that pretty well.
ATK are holding fast here, and it's a bit odd to say, but as a minute has gone, there isn't any action from either of these teams except for a little bit of map control and maybe some denial from the defenders as AML is holding this angle into Bakery. Dr. Dropshot is the first one to start things off here, and Corsa is gone. Good night for this round. And it's a minute and 40 left. Figure decides to drop back into sight away from dining, which is where he and his fellow teammates had been trying to prevent the vertical game, but it doesn't seem like OG are invested in that whatsoever. They are going full on for this attack from Bakery. They are opening the wall and they are holding angles. It's the ace of Cannibal. He's peeking into sight, trying to find any defender who's a bit too shifty on his feet. A C4 goes out, doesn't net anything. Those Pancake and Figure do. It's a 3v4 now as OG are on the back foot after getting an early advantage, and then Figure adds onto it. Kaiko is gone. Dr. Dropshot and Cannibal. Can you clutch this with the minute you're left with?
2v4 situation, 50 seconds left on the clock, but yeah, just a whiff battle coming out in Bakery as Figure comes out on top there, taking out Cannibal in that round, and now a 1 versus 4 situation for Dropshot. We've seen him do it before. We know he has the potential to clutch this, but at the moment, ATK looking very strong, just not going to throw anything away at the moment as there is some damage being put onto Figure, but Pancake sitting there in the corner just waiting, holding the angle, and takes advantage of that and picks off Dropshot in that final round, and well, gets their very first defending round for them on the split. So really well executed there from ATK to just defend and waste time and really just stop those attackers from gaining control. They got control of Bakery and then tried to rotate upstairs. They got the opening pick and then tried to get rid of the mute jammers to open up that Bakery wall. They did get it open, but then just the re-aggression from ATK, just supporting them on that round, just getting those 2 kills and bring it back to their side and then not letting it slip away. Just really well done from them to keep that in their favor.
It's a very good round from ATK. At the beginning of it, though, I thought that OG were going for a rush as 5 of their bodies were all situated inside that Bakery side of the map, like you said. But it wasn't a rush as ATK, they had the angles, they had the vertical, they had what they needed to win them that round, and it was aggression from Figure and the rest of his squad. They're getting so many kills so late, I would say, in that round compared to all the others, and now it's a 4-3. If history for this map is anything to go by, though, I would say that OG are now poised to win this one and then equalizers for the 4th time. That remains to be seen in the next 3 minutes and 5 seconds as we go into round number 8. I just want to take a moment to say thank you all to you who are watching us right now. We appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much for having been with us the entirety of our journey throughout the WLE 10K. We wouldn't have done this if it weren't for you, and we are very, very grateful to have you with us. James, though, is the one who starts this round off, getting Argo off the board as he attempted to rappel there, and then he just boots it, saying, you know what, I've done my job, I am out of here.
Good pick there from James just to get that first pick, and the sledge out of all operators that he killed is just a really good pick for him. Those nades not going to be able to be used in this round, and that breaching hammer from him. So at the moment it's looking well in favor of ATK obviously, but for OG it's very dire as they have lost a very good operator from their side, but they still do have 4 really good util based operators to support them. There is these players trying to contest now into Piano as Corsa is playing there in that minibar area. He will be contested by that Windows drop shot, is repelled on there, but will he spot out this angle and who will come up on top there? We'll have to see and wait and just see how it plays out, as you know, just everybody deciding to fall back, just wasting time. At the moment very stagnant from the 2 players as Corsa does decide to drop off, just going to play his life there and not throw anything away as he has wasted so much time. A minute 30 left on the clock and OG in the deficit now at the moment, not able to get control of Piano just quite yet, but they do have presence on White as Kaiko comes out on top then picks up AML. That's the Jaeger off of the board, now bringing the score back to a 4v4 with a minute 15 left on the clock. At the moment it's now anybody's game.
Though it looks more like an OG game as they're in the advantage. Dr. Dropshot finds the pancake, and that's the smoke to say the least. He is a plant denial operator here, the last one being left, Maestro. And the ATK player of Kosa, who has his Nitro still in pocket. Of course, as they say that a cast figure who is gone, as is James. It's now up to Kosa, the IGL, the main man himself. He throws out a Nitro cell, but doesn't catch anyone as there was nobody there. It was a rather blind one with no intel. Cannibal is the one who starts the plant. He will be uncontested, and Sandals on white stairs finds such an easy pick onto Kosa. And like I said, it don't know if I blessed it if you're OG or if I cast it if you're ATK, but it's another equalizer, Justin. We might be here all the way to theme park.
I see it going all the way to theme park. In my opinion, this is one of the closest games so far. It's just everybody going back and forth, just fighting back to the very end. No, you take one round, I take the next round. It's just a tit for tat at the moment coming out from both these teams. I just want to speak quickly about that situation there. OG obviously coming out on top after getting the opening pick. ATK not holding those angles and holding control of those areas. They wasted a lot of time, but then OG just pushed through and got the opening picks. ATK shouldn't have allowed that to happen. They basically just threw themselves in predictable areas where they got picked off easily by drop shots, just with that Sophia just coming through and just getting rid of those players. And as well, from that white stairs presence, the window was broken open and there was no reaction from AML to really try and contest it or run away or stay safe. It's like he didn't hear it at all, so that might have been a little issue as well. That C4 coming out there from Causa at the end, I believe he could have utilized it in a better position, maybe where default plant would be. I don't know if somebody gave a call to him that there was somebody in cocktail, but from our perspective, obviously nobody can get into those areas as quick as they did. If Rowan just dropped the hatch, and then he had to really just base it all on his knowledge, I guess. But needless to say, it was very well played from OG to bring it back from the round, even though they were in that 4v5 deficit.
It's a great recap of the last round there, Justin. And round number 9, as was being shown by our observer, there is a heavy utility investment from the side of ATK on the floor below the one they are actually defending, which is bar. There are reinforcements, and I'm not entirely sure what the setup is here. Maybe ATK are playing 5-dimensional chess with us, while we are thinking more on the side of checkers, because I don't think I've seen this map or rather this site being defended that way. I would say that those reinforcements to me signal that there's protection for anyone who might be running downstairs, not to get wall banged, but I'm not entirely sure what they are for. What do you make of it, Justin?
So at the moment, just the way that the site is being held, it's very interesting, needless to say, but it does look like ATK are trying to more invest to contest in this piano area, as you do see Causa playing on that stage area, contesting those windows, but now being in a bit of a predicament as he is going to get pinched from red stairs, and there's the wallbang from Sandals picking him off there, just getting that intel, and then AML losing some HP as well. So at the moment, ATK's defense not looking the best, but from OG, really good positioning from them to really take control of this and hold it. As well, we do see Kaiko on the side there on the east rappel to try and on that wide stairs area.
That's good work from OG as bodies continue to fall, and they are still in the lead as Pancake gets a refrag onto Sandals. It cost them James and Kosa, but now they have a minute left to defend this site. They don't have the bodies advantage, though they do have the plant denial advantage, and they have equalized it as Pancake finds the Zofia of Dr. Dropshot, who is on 10 kills, 7 deaths. He has been doing so well. Kaiko throws things back into their favor as he eliminates Pancake himself, and then he finds a kill onto ML, and then another onto Figure. Kaiko, you can't walk around collecting 3Ks just like that after swinging into the window. Oh my word.
That was spectacular from Kaiko there. Just peeking in, going to those cocktail rappel on those windows, just have that adaptation to really read into the situation and try and pinch out those defenders, make it not really safe for them to play and put them under pressure. Just from him getting that initial pick there and then jumping and then getting 2 more from White Stairs, it's just really well done from him there. But from ATK's side, they should have read into that. There was a call, there should have been a call that there's somebody on Repel Cocktail side, and somebody should have heard that there was a Repel in and be able to, spot that out instead of, both trying to peek it and then picked off. There was no really just potential to get that pick from Kaiko, but from him, just excellent gun skill from him to take advantage of those areas, and the Type 89 just working wonders for him at the moment, just completely fragging out on Cafe at the moment, and he is still playing that somewhat of a support role. I don't classify Zibana more as a support, but more of a flex slash support, because she does have that fragging potential, as we can see from that previous round.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hibana is a flex. That Type 89 is such a good weapon. I absolutely love it. Almost as much as I love the C8, and I'm kind of sad that we haven't seen Buck on this map, as reading hasn't really been played much. OG played it once, they didn't win it, and ATK, after losing Bar twice, have decided to go back to Kitchen, which they did win as their first defending round on this map. Kos is looking for an early advantage here. The aggression, we said, coming out early, doesn't get anything there, as there was no one just in that position of that pawn. OG though are in position here in the bakery, opening up angles, getting rid of shields and such like utility to make their work easy as they try to get into sight. There are angles that have been opened up from above by ATK, so they are in such good positions to stop anyone from jumping into breach or walking through the doors, which are at this point chokeholds. So OG are aware of that, as we see Sandoz droning it out for his teammates. The bullet here being held by Dr. Dropshot all the way into that little cubby of the kitchen, but there's no one situated there just yet. AML, James, and Sir Pancake are the ones who are above the site. James tries to get aggressive here on this red stairs to find anything. Kosa is on such a deep row. Will he make it back to site? The OG starts the attack, and here it comes. Sandoz is the one who leads into sight, but then he's immediately traded by AML. Figure huge nitro cell onto Dr. Dropshot. It's a 3v5 just in half the round to go. Scratch that, it's a 2v5.
The aggressiveness just coming out here from OG as Cannibal answers back, picks off AML. That's the very first pick for OG in this round. 1:20 left on the clock. They do have that vertical control, but now we do see a player being contested. Some damage is put onto Figure, but not enough to take him out. But there is still an advantage for ATK. The pressure is still coming out here from OG as Pancake answers back through that vertical and takes out Ergo. Now 1 versus 4 situation for Cannibal. He has to do it all. He's being contested by that prep double window. He does have to pick out all these players, and not being able to do it quite yet. He does put some damage onto Figure, but now ATK will just hold these angles and wait. They do still have pressure from that vertical, as one player has decided to rotate back up. 40 seconds left on the clock. It does look like Cannibal will just sit outside here and just wait for those defenders of ATK to peek into his lines of sight, and maybe just give his time a bit, just his team a bit of time to speak and just sort out what went wrong in that round. But as from our perspective, I do believe that over-aggression from OG was the problem, and then just a re-aggression from ATK really just supported them in that round. Just being able to pinch those attackers as they were trying to pinch them and not allowing them to get control of those areas. Just really well defended defense from ATK, as now it will be a 5-5 once again. So it's just so close. It's one round constantly in this matchup, and I believe it's going to go all the way till the very end. We'll have to see if it goes all the way to overtime. We'll have, for these next 2 rounds, that will be the deciding factor.
That was a good round from both teams, but as you called it there towards the end, Justin, ATK are the ones who came out on top, as they had such an airtight and solid defense. They will decide to go to reading room, which they haven't gone to just yet, and I like this because they tried bar twice, it didn't quite work out for them. So they'll try to go to reading room. Of course, they won the attack onto this very site on round number 4, so to me, they are well aware of how they need to be defending and exactly how they need to play to secure themselves the W. As you can see, Sapankik has picked up the clash, so it's going to be a lot of time wasted. James on the Goyo, though, that's going to be a lot of utility wasted. And if you can do a small recap of that last round, I feel like I agree with you. Aggression, Justin, is what cost OG the round, because they kind of bulldozed into sight there with the Ash running in and then the second player getting eliminated by the Nitro Cell. But maybe if OG could have started from the top floor, the standard ATK attack, take top red, piano, etc., they would have stood a chance. But given how heavy the ATK roam was and how much they had set up bodies inside of trains and dining, maybe it would have cost them too many bodies and too much time for them to eventually come down to the execute phase. But that's all in the past. What's in the future is unknowable, because it's the 5th time we're equalizing on Cafe, and this is just the first map in a best of 3. We're yet to see which of these teams will be meeting Bravado Gaming in the best of 5 tomorrow, 6 p.m., as the grandest of finals that has ever been organized in South Africa will be making its way to your screen. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss that notification when the match goes live.
Now the attackers trying to take control of this top floor, putting pressure from different angles to really put pressure on those defenders. We do see this clash contesting here, or actually below, he's in mining. It's AML contesting here in white stairs here on the Jaeger, but he's going to be pressured out as he goes for a cheeky pre-fire, but he does not connect onto anything. ATK just choosing to waste time at the moment, just waiting for those attackers to push into their lines of sight and not really playing overly aggressive, as we do see now these attackers do have control of that freezer area, but there's nobody really contesting into those cocktail areas, as there's somebody playing safe. They do have the util to support them, but at the moment OG very just getting into that stagnant point at the moment, just stalling, just waiting completely. But there's a head spotted up by drop shot, but he gets refragged from Figure, and AMO adding onto the board as well. But now Sandals contesting on white stairs. He is met with that clash and now trying to get into a safe area, as AMO is playing with that clash, playing behind him to try and pick out those players. They're just going to waste time up here. They have wasted 2 minutes already, as there's a minute 10 left on the clock, but the flash is coming out here from their banner, just trying to put pressure on this clash. Pancake just making beautiful work of that, as AML does eventually drop off, and it's all up to Pancake up top here to waste time and really just give that information to his team so that ATK can bring this round into their favor.
I was going to say that once they had lost Kosa, they should have probably dropped off and fell back to site at that very moment. But the fact that they have a clash who is still playing at the top of white stairs is what enables this extended roam to continue to influence the round, as the execute phase now comes down in the last 35 seconds of this matchup. AML is looking through the verticals, trying to find an angle onto Cannibal, but he's not able to just yet. The clash is still in play, and she's still on the top floor. And with 20 seconds left to go, given the fact that she can zap away at the health of these remaining three attackers, it's going to be such a pain for them to try to get the plant down, as Cannibal is here. The rest of his teammates, they have rotated. They are trying to get into dining from mining, and Figures there on the deep roam. Find one, or actually it's AML and James. Find the two, and the last one falls, and it's ATK yet again. 6-5 is the scoreline. It's match point. It's map point for ATK.
So that round just really going in favor of ATK throughout the whole entire period of it. Obviously, Koza got picked off the very first pick for OG, but then ATK answered back with those two initial picks, and then the clash still being allowed to play upstairs, just wasting that time, not allowing OG to push back into her area, that white stairs hallway, and Cocktail all by herself, just wasting time. That should have not been allowed from OG. They should have rotated long before the time. If they knew that Clash was contesting them, why not choose to rotate into pillar side or into mining as they did at the end of the round? But that was way too late. There you have to try and rush into things to try and get that plant down. 10 seconds left on the clock is not going to really support you if you want to take control and get that plant down and then hold the angles, especially if you're disadvantaged in that area in a 3 versus 4 situation and you don't have anybody to watch those flanks. As well, I believe with them executing that round, they could have played it a lot better. They could have watched that flank from Train. They were just all three trying to rush into dining and not really watch those areas that were important for them. So it could have been played a lot better from OG in that situation, even though they were disadvantaged. But needless to say, ATK just coming out on top in that round and really showing what they can do in those areas. And well, they do deserve it. They are now at match point, but if it's a reoccurrence of events, will we see overtime, Olympus?
Oh, 100% we are going to overtime. OG are going to take this as far as they possibly can. They're not going to go down easy. They haven't come all this way just to give up now, and they will go down fighting, screaming, and biting teeth out, claws out as they try to get a claim of that 10,000 rand prize pool. Here is the closest match I think we have ever seen. How many other matches have we seen where it's just been equalizer after equalizer after equalizer? I know of one that comes to mind. It was the DNMK versus Vibin one, which was on Villa, but even then they only equalized 3 times. Here it's been 5, so that's already breaking a record of some sorts. And then another game that took it all the way to the end was yesterday on Clubhouse, where we went to the full 15 rounds. It eventually went into the favor of Bravado. Right now, the favor, though, is in the hands of OG as they get the opening kill onto AML. And that's good for them because they are on match point. They don't want to lose this. So that's a good advantage for them early on, as the minute and 40 is what's left here. They try to execute this attack slowly by slowly.
If we do look at the previous rounds, ATK have not won upstairs once. So in obviously OG having the advantage now in this round, it really does show as now they're disadvantaged and not really the likely player or the team to win this round. As Causa does get down, but Pancake answers back as he picks off Kaiko and now going to be able to pick up Causa, and now James just answering back as well. That sandals off of the board is looking like a much better defense for ATK at the moment. 3 players left on OG versus 4 players of ATK, but 2 of those players are low on HP versus 3 full OG players. We'll have to see if they are able to take control of this bar area as a C4 does come swinging through. It does not connect onto anybody, but there is still presence here on white stairs as drop shot will be contested. Pancake does lose quite a bit of HP, but he's still standing and he does have 2 of those smoke canisters left. He has thrown them up, but now Cannibal will be in that bar area trying to go for that plant as Dropshot does lose HP as well, and Pancake gets Ergo. That is the sledge off the board, a 2 versus 4 situation. It's all up to Dropshot and Cannibal to try and bring this back. They do have 30 seconds left on the clock, so they can still do this, but Pancake is contesting there from that cocktail area, putting some damage back onto Cannibal. He does still have 1 smoke canister, so he'll choose to wait on that one. There is still Maestro Cams up as Cannibal gets 1 onto Pancake, but Causa answers back as he gets a refrag, and now it's all up to Dropshot in a 1 versus 3 situation. He has to clutch this if he wants to keep his team in this game. He does get 1. That James off of the board. The Maestro gets picked up as well. He's down, but does he know the location of the final player? That's Causa playing in Freezer, and no, he doesn't, as Causa just sits in that corner and just waits patiently. And well, there we go. ATK finally taking the advantage, not putting it 1-for-1 anymore, and taking that map in a 7-5 victory for them. It was very close. It was a really close matchup, but ATK just coming out on top in the end.
ATK positively happy with that win, as 7-5 is the scoreline. Just looking at the kills that have come out from both of these teams, well in the double digits. It's very well done to both of them, as like we said, it has gone back and forth, but eventually the trend had to break at some point, and ATK are the ones who have broken it. 7-5, that's the victory on Cafe, will be going to Clubhouse, yes indeed, as the second map in this best of 3. So OG now are the ones who are going to be feeling the pressure. They are on the back foot. they are going to be feeling the heat, as now it's do or die for them. If they don't win on Clubhouse, then ATK take it as a 2-0. I had said that we would be seeing overtime on this map that we've just played, but that did not turn out to be the case, unfortunately for me, because I was so looking forward to so much action. But in the end, like I said, the trend breaks, and that's ATK. Good job to them, good half, as it's now 1-0 up.
I just want to speak a bit about that game. The defense, especially from both teams. Obviously, all the sides working out in favor of the defense, or not actually. It was more split between the two, but Cocktail specifically going in favor of the attackers. It was played, I believe, 5-6 times